What is up, everybody? J-Nell here with my UFC 219 recap video. It happened last night. I hope you saw it. It was a good card. I thought it was a good way to end the year, and about the only thing I got right was to not use my predictions to influence your betting, because I was really nervous that I would get a lot of them wrong, and I did. I got 1 out of 5. One of my picks, I made 6 picks, but as you know, the Lineker got injured, so that he did not fight Jimmy Rivera, so that did not happen. But yeah, 1 out of 5. That was it. A lot of hoping that went on there, and my hopes did not come true. So let's get into it. First up on the main event of the prelims, I chose Khalil Rountree Jr. to beat Michel Oleksiejczuk, and he did not. He won about the majority of the first round, but then he was gassed by the end of the first round, and I was like, uh-oh. You knew that he was going to lose this fight, because Oleksiejczuk basically took over by the end of the first round. He was able to take him down. He was able to land more shots on the feet as well. He was the one pressing the action. He was the one moving forward. Had Khalil fighting off his back, fighting off the cage. So yeah, he just won. He just won the next 2 rounds. Who would you like to see him fight next? Now, onto the main card. I was hoping, I was like, where is Carlos Condit? We'll see. So I said, if his head is in it, I think he has the skill set to beat Neil Magny. I'm not sure he wants to fight anymore. Not saying that Neil Magny doesn't have, he has great skill, and then Neil Magny won this fight. It was a unanimous decision, and it was a pretty dominant victory. It was a decision. Carlos Condit had some flashes in the 3rd round where he did do some damage, and he managed to stun Neil, but then Neil again was able to take him down, ground and pound. He was everywhere he needed to be. This was a good victory for Neil Magny, especially coming off of that loss to RDA. So what do you think? Do you think that Carlos Condit's head is in the game? Do you think that he should continue fighting? Do you think he wants to fight? What did you see from Carlos Condit in this? And who would you like to see Neil Magny fight next? Now, next up, I chose Cynthia Calvillo, one of my fighters to watch, to beat Carla Esparza. She did not. Unanimous decision victory. All 3 judges had 29-28 in favor of Carla Esparza. Now, the first round went to Cynthia. She was able to take her down and mount some ground and pound. She was doing a lot of control, because Carla kept moving, so there was a lot of controlling, but she mounted some nice shots, some elbows. At the end, there was a nice, beautiful MMA exchange, actually, where Carla scrambled. She had to take her back, and then Carla turned around in the guard and ended up on top. It was a nice, beautiful exchange there that got the crowd hyped at the end of the first round. Second round, I believe, went to Carla. Cynthia did not respect her power, and because of that, she was really too willing to, while she was trying to go for her shots, she was too willing to eat shots from Carla. And Carla gained confidence, and Carla began to read her body language, and Carla was circling to her weak side, and Carla started to point her. And she took her down a couple of times. She wasn't able to hold her there, but she did actually, disrupt the movement. She did score a takedown, even though she didn't hold her there and do any damage there. But she won the 2nd round. I totally agree, she won the 2nd round. And the 3rd round was really, really close. They both landed shots. Again, to me, Cynthia, if she just would go in with her hands up and be less willing to eat shots, she was landing plenty enough to get this victory. Again, but she was too willing to eat shots, and Carla was landing shots, I thought, and she was landing some hard shots too. They were trading shots, right hands. They both kind of got predictable for each other, so that 3rd round was really close. I watched it more than once, and at the end of that 3rd round, there was an exchange that Carla initiated at the end, nice flurry she had that she won, and I think that's what got her that round. So I would have been okay with a draw, but I'm also okay with Carla winning the fight of Cynthia. If you saw her face, she did not agree. So, but hey, you can't be willing to eat shots, even though they're not. Even though you think that you're okay and you're not feeling it. She pointed you out of victory. That's what happened there. Anyway, so next up, we saw Hooker be the first person to defeat Diakese. I did not make a prediction on that fight, but go back and watch that one. It was a good fight. Who would you like to see him fight next? Now on to the co-main event, and I chose Khabib Nurmagomedov to beat Edson Barbosa, and this was the only pick that I got right. He lived up to all the hype. And Barbosa, while it was standing, for those moments while it was standing, he landed some shots. He landed some nice hands. I thought he would land some hands, and he did, but it just didn't matter. He landed a kick flush to the face, and Khabib ate it and kept coming forward. So it's not like he didn't try. It's not like he wasn't trying to stay away from him and play the long game. He did all of that. He landed shots, landed punches, landed kicks. What happens when Khabib got a great chin? He eats the shots, continues to move forward till he presses you up against the cage and eventually takes you down. And when he does, you don't get back up. And that's what we saw here. By the end of the first round, he had him down, ground and pound, and was beating him up. He had Barbosa bleeding by the end of the first round. And Barbosa did some things while it was standing. Khabib ate that, came forward, took down, ground and pound. Couldn't finish him though. Could not finish him, but it was a unanimous decision in his favor. Great, strong, dominant victory. He will be fighting Tony Ferguson next. I don't know what's happening with Conor McGregor. Can you tell me? Does anybody know? You let me know what's going on with Conor McGregor. But yeah, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Tony Ferguson next. Now, main event, and I did not get this pick either, but I'm not surprised at all. This was my hope against all hope. And still, UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion Cris Cyborg. She defeated Holly Holm in a unanimous decision. And two of the judges gave Holly Holm 2 rounds. I don't know if has anybody won a round from Cyborg before? 2 of the judges gave her 2, and one of them gave her 1, which is what I would have done. I would have given the second round. So let's go ahead and get into this. This was just, you know, if I'm Holly Holm, I'm encouraged. She came out very strong. She was actually able to tie her up and muscle up against the cage and kind of stifle Cyborg's offense, whatever she would get going, and it got Cyborg frustrated. You could see the frustration in her face, actually. So there were some things there that I thought was unexpected. I wish she could do more when she had her in the clinch. Get some shoulder shots, some foot stomps, some disrupt the breathing, some shoulder wrench, and just more things. You're at Jackson Winklejohn. You gotta give her more when she's in the clinch, because I think maybe they didn't think she would be strong there. She wasn't muscling Cyborg, but she was frustrating Cyborg, especially in the first 2 rounds. She was landing some shots, she landed some rights. She had a higher offensive output. She threw more, but she didn't land more. Cyborg landed more. And that was really what I liked, is that the high skill level of Holly Holm brought out the high skill level in Cyborg. I was trying, we all, us in the know, we know Cyborg's not just brute power. We know that there's skill behind it, and I thought we actually finally got to see that in this 5-round fight. Cyborg was all about timing. She was all about distance, angles. She was all about reading Holly Holm's language, and Holly Holm got predictable. She kind of started getting repetitive, and she was landing cleaner and harder shots. Holly Holm did land some kicks. Like I said, she landed some punches. She landed some rights, same right that she landed against Ronda Rousey. She actually drew blood from Cyborg by the end of the first round. How many of us can say that that happened? And the second round is the round that I believe she won. That was the round where she landed some shots, and whenever Cyborg retaliated, she would push her back up against the cage and tie her up and frustrate Cyborg. If she could have just done more. This never went to the ground at all, stayed standing. But I think there was some positive things to be gained from Holly Holm. She took all of Cyborg's good shots. She got some nice kicks to the stomach that she took from Cyborg, some punches, and she kept on going. She damaged Cyborg's nose and mouth, but as this fight went on, she got more predictable and Cyborg got stronger. The timing got better, her combinations got better. She started landing some nice knees, some punches and knees combinations that moved Holly, that stunned her, that stopped her. Holly actually landed 2 rights, I believe, at the end of the 4th round that stunned Cyborg, and even at the end of the 5th, or in the 4th round, she did some things. And at the very end of the 5th round, she even landed the 2 lefts that stunned her. So it was a decisive victory for Cyborg. But if I'm Holly Holm, I'm encouraged, quite frankly. You gotta look at it. She's 36 years old. She is in good physical shape. She's done everything she needs to do. She's first round ballot Hall of Famer for female MMA practitioners, all the boxing titles, kickboxing titles, bantamweight championship. If I'm Holly, Cyborg's my Mount Everest. And from now on, I'm chasing Cyborg. I mean, she drew blood. The monster she bleeds. Like you and I, she bleeds. That's how I feel if I'm Holly Holm. I'm encouraged. There's nobody else for her to fight in the featherweight division. If Megan Anderson gets in there, if Jermaine decides she don't want to be scared because she's scared, I mean, anybody else who gets in there, they said there's less than 5 fighters actually signed to that division. So if I'm Holly Holmes, maybe you get another win, or maybe you take 6 months and you train more and you get more skills together, maybe some clinch skills together, build on the things that you did positively, get more diversity in your striking, and I chase Cyborg for the remaining of my career, whether it be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, for whatever. If you fight her 5 times and just get 1, you're done. That's all you got to do is get 1. So if I'm Holly, I'm encouraged. I thought this was a high-level, high-skilled fight. We finally got to see the high-skill level of Cyborg. Again, the head movement, again, the timing. She got frustrated by Holly, and by that 4th and 5th round, you could tell she was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm coming at you. She turned it up a notch. We were wondering how her cardio would last. She got stronger. She got great cardio. Even I was wondering how she would last in a 5-round fight. Both ladies actually had great cardio. But again, we saw the high skill level of Cris Cyborg. It's not just brute power. She has a great jab. She has head movement. She has footwork. She has great timing. And she can adjust during the fight. She did all of that. She read her opponent, made the adjustments, and got stronger. All of that. So this was a great showing from Cris Cyborg. We finally got to see her level. Great women's MMA fight. Great MMA fight to me. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. So Thank you, ladies. Great end of the year event. Let me know how you did. Let me know how you do in all your picks. It only could have did one worse than me. So let me know what you think about Carlos Condit. Do you think he's ready to come back? And who's next for Cris Cyborg? Megan Anderson? What should happen next? What do you think Holm should do next? Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm on Snapchat now. Talk to me. Subscribe, like, talk to me. Take care. And goodbye.